voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
This is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Karoline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day.
Joe Biden knows how to do this.
Yes.
He knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. And you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean...
He rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just...
But can I mention one thing?
Karoline Leavitt just exposed the left's biggest secret. And insiders say The View hosts are in panic mode, scrambling to silence her. What happens when a fearless conservative mom takes on Hollywood's woke elite? A meltdown so intense, it's changing the game of political debate. Leavitt didn't just challenge Whoopi Goldberg, she obliterated her. With sharp precision, she dismantled Goldberg's arguments, leaving the so-called Queen of Woke stammering. While Leavitt remained poised and confident, Goldberg's flustered theatrics only underscored the divide between conservative strength and performative activism. This wasn't just a debate, it was a masterclass in composure versus chaos. Leavitt refused to stoop to petty insults, exposing Goldberg's reliance on dramatic outbursts instead of real substance. The internet exploded, calling it the knockout heard around the world.
I, too, am a working mom and always have been. I've been a professional woman since I graduated from college or law school. But now there's, I think, a good thing, which is like the restoration of valuing so-called traditional, moms, and that's great. The women who take care of their kids full time. Most of my best friends are doing exactly that. But it seems like in the right, there's like a bit of a shift toward like, you can't do what Karoline's doing. That's actually like an unsafe or a dangerous or a bad choice for families, for children, which I reject wholesale, but you hear it more and more.
Yeah.
The same hosts who claim that women can have it all attacked Karoline Leavitt for balancing motherhood and her career. Joy Behar sneered, "Why work with a 7-month-old?" A shocking contradiction to their usual empowerment mantra. Leavitt fired back, standing up for working moms while also honoring stay-at-home parents, a nuance the left refuses to acknowledge. This wasn't just criticism, it was sexism disguised as progressivism. Her response wasn't just about herself. It was about building a better future for all children. The hypocrisy was undeniable. Feminists condemning a woman's choice to succeed in both family and career.
I would reject that it's a bad choice. Is it a tough choice? Absolutely. You know, as a mother, you want to be with your child 24/7. You have that maternal instinct.
27.
Yeah, not all the time. Well, right now, yes, because he's 7 months and just squishy and lovable, but I'm sure that will change. No, but you know, you do have that maternal instinct, but also recognizing, like, I'm doing this work for my son and for all children to make this country better. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Honestly, Karoline is making some solid points, and I have no idea.
It's also it's temporary, right? In 4 years, my son will be 4 years old, and the president will no longer be at the White House, and then I'll move on and do something else. But, you know, this chaos of 24/7 work is a temporary matter. And that's what at least I tell myself to get through these very long and hard days. But I would reject that you can't be a good mom and be good at your job. I think you can do both. It certainly it's not for everybody. And it takes a lot of work and will and faith and prayer. And it's hard, but it can be done. And, you know,
Leavitt exposed the left's one-size-fits-all feminism. While The View claims to champion choice, they vilified her for making one they didn't approve of. She argued that traditional motherhood and career ambition aren't mutually exclusive, a truth that sent them into a frenzy. The double standard was glaring. Liberal women like Kamala Harris faced no scrutiny for similar choices, but Leavitt's crime was doing it better, without bowing to woke orthodoxy. Meanwhile, The View hit a new low, absurdly claiming that Elon Musk plotted to push Trump down the stairs. Leavitt mocked the conspiracy as tinfoil hat lunacy, contrasting it with her own evidence-based critiques of $71 billion in government fraud. The host's desperation was clear. When facts fail, they invent fairy tales. Leavitt, however, stays focused on real issues, not delusions.
I mean, I gotta ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that. And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of
Behind
touch with
closed doors, journalists praised Leavitt's transparency, even as they publicly smeared her. Off the record, they thanked her for the White House access that Biden's team denied. By exposing this hypocrisy, Leavitt proved that media elites prioritize drama over truth. The irony. Those writing hit pieces against her privately admitted she's refreshingly competent. But when she dropped a bombshell, $71 billion squandered in Social Security fraud, reporters ignored the scandal and nitpicked her phrasing instead. She fired back. Why defend waste? Laying bare their complicity and corruption. For the press, it's about protecting narratives, not serving the public. But Leavitt refuses to play along. She's holding power accountable, no matter the backlash.
A lot of women are preparing themselves for the impact of the incoming administration, which has led to this growing mantra from male right-wing incels. Your body, my choice. Say that to my face.
While Karine Jean-Pierre relies on scripted binders, Karoline Leavitt speaks from conviction. I trust my mind and heart, she declared, rejecting pre-approved talking points. Her raw authenticity terrifies the left, whose ideology crumbles without teleprompters. Her secret? Preparation backed by principle. No focus groups, no filters, just unfiltered truth.
You wrestled with how you were going to meet the high bar set by Karine Jean-Pierre. Was that... Sorry. Was that out loud? No, she was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how has your approach differed, would you say?
I think it's vastly different. And if you ask people, even in the legacy media, even the Trump haters, they will tell you the approach has been much different. Not just for me, but
They
the
admit that
entire
to you.
White House. Oh, absolutely. They come in my office every day and they'll admit that off the record.
Oh.
Maybe not on the record, but they will say they appreciate the access and the transparency and the preparation that goes into my briefings. And
Insiders reveal that Whoopi and Joy resent Leavitt's White House role, a position they'll never hold. Their attacks aren't ideological, they're personal. Leavitt's rise underscores their irrelevance, sparking bitter envy disguised as commentary. While she shapes history, they recycle tired rants on a sinking show, unable to challenge her record. The View reduced her to being labeled Trump's 10-10 hire. Joy Behar's jab backfired, exposing the left's inherent sexism. Despite her credentials as a congressional candidate, Trump campaign spokesperson, and fraud exposer, her accomplishments were dismissed with petty insults. Michael Knowles defended her, saying, "She earned this. No man would face such nonsense."
to an IG report from the Social Security Administration, there was $71 billion worth of fraud in one single fiscal year that we know about. And so that is a lot of fraud.
To be clear, that $71 billion was from 2015 to 2022, so it wasn't in just 1 year, and it was
$71 billion.
But it wasn't in 1 year, for multiple years, from 2015 to 2022.
So are you defending $71 billion in fraud, Peter? That's a lot of money. Why is the media so against cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from the government? I don't get it.
I just want to ask the question.
We won't be deterred. We will not be deterred from people like you and the
Before
press.
joining the White House, Leavitt won a GOP primary against establishment favorite Matt Mowers. Although she lost the general election, she proved her mettle, a grit that fuels her today. Trained in political combat rather than studio theatrics, Leavitt stands apart from The View hosts, whose zero electoral experience and rampant hypocrisy speak for themselves. She also called out CNN for its obsession with destroying Trump based on policy, not facts. Jim Acosta's vendetta epitomized this bias until Leavitt shut him down with a pointed remark. "At least I have a job, Jim." The media's blatant bias is undeniable. Even critics admit it. Leavitt's focus remains on delivering real results rather than chasing ratings or tantrums.
How do you prepare? Because you can't know everything,
No.
and you could get asked anything. And unlike Karine Jean-Pierre, you're not out there reading and furiously flipping through your tabs to try to find an answer somebody else has written for you.
Yeah.
So how are you preparing?
So I did prepare a binder for the first briefing. My great assistant, Keegan, put it together. And then I showed up to work and it was like this thick. And I was like, I can't even move this. I can't use this. It was too cumbersome for my brain and the way I learn and think and study to have that. It felt like added weight. And I said, I want to just go in there and speak from my mind and from my heart.
Like your boss.
Leavitt's rise mirrors the decline of The View. Once seen as cultural arbiters, they're now bitter banshees whose desperate attempts to stay relevant, spitting on Trump's name and peddling conspiracy theories, are nothing more than yesterday's noise. Loud but powerless, Leavitt's binder-free briefings terrify the left. She dismantles narratives without any notes, while Jean-Pierre appears to flip through pages like a lost student. This contrast exposes the right's confidence versus the left's insecurity. Authenticity always trump.
Always trumps performative wokeness. Because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the
Previous journalists ignored Lev's $71 billion fraud expose to attack her tone, their priority protecting corrupt systems, not informing voters. Lit's response transparency terrifies those who profit from shadows. The press's complicity now undeniable. Her unfiltered truth-telling end dangers an industry built on lies. Every clapback, every fact chips away at their facade. No wonder they want her gone.
Debates are
She's their kryptonite.
She's
but
focused
Lead
on
isn't
fixing
backing
America.
down.
Priorities
I'm here
matter.
to serve the
Leavitt
people,
has them.
not
Her
pundits. Spit take wasn't anger. It was a scripted stunt to boost dying ratings. Lead saw through it. Desperation looks ugly on everyone. The tactic failed. Viewers flocked to Lit's clarity, leaving The View in the dust.
Now to the cackling witch herself, Joy Behar from The View, whose jealousy is something to behold. Here is her assessment of Trump's new White House press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
I think she's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
The ever-empowering feminist, Joy herself, everyone. And this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Karoline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day.
Simply existing as a conservative woman triggers the left, but her success proves that traditional values and ambition can coexist. A truth that shatters woke narratives. The more they attack, the more she wins. While The View hosts rant, she fights real battles, exposing fraud, streamlining government, and defending Trump. Their debates are distractions. She's focused on fixing America. Priorities matter. She has them, while her critics do not.
The CNN guy, Jim Acosta? Oh wait, he's not on CNN anymore. That's right. He was like,
her blend of intellect, grit, and relatability reaches moderates and conservatives alike. The left fears her crossover appeal, proof that common sense transcends ideology. Their solution:
destroy Donald Trump. How do you destroy the individuals and staff? It was so
broken system.
When they do say Trump derangement syndrome, and I do think that there's also Elon Musk derangement syndrome happening here with the
beats
media,
activism every time. Leavitt's rise signals a new era.
Differently from the first administration till now?
Well, first of all, since you brought up Jim Acosta, he's been
silencing her, they amplified her message. Truth defeats theatrics always. As The View fades into
let's go. Jim, at least I have a job, Jim, okay?
Her blend of intellect, grit, and relatability
how long
appeals
until the
to both
woke mob
moderates and conservatives,
and learns from her example.
And the left fears her crossover appeal as proof that common sense transcends ideology. Their solution? Smear, not debate. Karoline Leavitt isn't just winning arguments, she's exposing a broken system. The View meltdowns, media falsehoods, and woke hypocrisy can't hide the truth. Authenticity always triumphs over activism. Her rise signals a new era where substance drowns out the noise. The left's assault on her has backfired spectacularly. Instead of silencing her, they've amplified her message. Truth defeats theatrics every time. And as The View fades into obscurity, Leavitt's star continues to rise, proving that integrity outlasts envy. The real question is, how long until the woke mob admits defeat and learns from her example?